Hey everyone, welcome to the VO Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Ann Ganguzza, and today I am so excited to welcome the one and only Mr. J. Michael Collins. Yay!
Oh, hi.
Now, bosses, if you don't know, I can't imagine, if you don't know who J. Michael Collins is, let me just tell you a little bit about him. So, J. Michael is a professional voice actor with over 30 years in the industry, working with major global brands, sports leagues, and organizations. Now, alongside his on-mic career, he has been a leading authority in online casting, coaching, and demo production, earning more than 50 industry awards. I'm close, J. Michael, I'm just saying, across voice acting, casting, writing, and producing. Together with his wife and one of my favorite people and business partner, Anna, J. Michael is the producer of VO Atlanta, co-producer of One Voice Conference USA, and the creator of the JMC Euro VO Retreats, which I hope to be going to soon. Ha! Bringing voice actors together at world-class events across the U.S. and Europe. And I will say that I have been, bosses, for the record, I have been to 2 of them, and they are amazing. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But thank you so much for joining me, J. Michael. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. That all sounds exhausting. I think I'm ready to retire now.
I think I did a good job, right? Maybe I should do
That's
some
great.
voiceover. I'm
There,
not
you
so
from
sure,
publicity.
but-
You got a nice sound, kid.
Well, thank you. Why, thank you. So, what should we talk about? I mean, we have so much.
I
There's so
don't
much
know.
we can talk
Hockey.
about.
Let's talk about hockey.
Okay. We won't discuss the Super Bowl. Sorry. All right. So here we go. I know now. J. Michael. Where'd you go? Wait.
You see?
He's
Is
left the room.
that Patriots hat visible back
He's
there?
left
You
the
see
room.
it right there. It's hiding
Yes, we
right
see it.
there.
We can absolutely see it. Well, look, before we talk about all your accolades and what you're all well known for, I want to start here with this question. So when people look at you now, they see the awards, the conferences, the influence, but tell us something about your journey that does not show up on your resume that has shaped who you are in this industry.
Hardcore narcotics.
I love it. I love it. We're here for the entertainment, bosses. Right?
Well, you should know. You ran Ganguzza from Joyzy. I mean, it's
That's
like
right.
if anybody wants to know what actually happened in that last scene on The Sopranos, she walked in and whacked the whole family. I mean, she didn't even spare the kid. She was like, all of them, they're done, all over the table in the diner.
I have a brand JMC, and you know about that because we will talk about your brand. I do have a brand to uphold. So maybe Sopranos jersey is not particularly the brand that bosses.
No,
with me.
it's not all right. They haven't met that side of you yet. They don't know the goose.
They know the goose. I think the goose is sometimes so much more fun than like just the one that's out there on the brands.
She's actually very scary in real life. Fangul.
That was an action for you guys who are not watching the video. I had a couple of actions.
There was a gesture. There might have been a gesture.
A Jersey gesture.
Yes, I might be marked for life, Ness.
So, well, all right. So now, besides the narcotics, what do you think it was? What do you think it was that really, I don't know, brought to light that shaped you in the industry? Because I remember when you first kind of came on the scene. You were on the scene for a long time, but before I knew, and it was VO Atlanta back in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your first? Yeah.
Or I think we might have met at Voice back in the day once upon a time.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. You were one of the last.
2012, I think. Yeah, 2012,
well, was
2014.
It 2012? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's been a while. So I kind of know J. Michael when I first met you, but.
I mean, yeah, something. It's funny because I get asked these kind of questions a lot, and my whole career has been a series of happy accidents. It's kind of like right place, right time, over and over and over again as the industry's shifted. I just got off doing a demo with Mark Scott commercial, and he's flipping fantastic. And I hear people like him. I hear people like you. I hear other talent on a daily basis, and I just go like, I wouldn't want to compete against these people. I don't know how the hell I'm here. Somebody asked me once at a lunch in New York, what are you up to? What's your plan? I'm like, I don't have a fucking plan. podcast.
I
I'm
don't
going
have a
by
clue.
I'm going by the seat. I'm sorry. Can I NSFW on this podcast? I'm just going. I'm going by the seat of my pants. I'm making it up as I go along. That really is the truth, and I think there's something actually to be said for that to some
Absolutely.
degree. That is when you watch people who
Yeah.
have good journeys in this business. There's sort of an authenticity to
Yes,
that journey where it
I
just
agree.
a lot of it just kind of happens because they do, they make good decisions, but at the same time have good
Mhm.
luck, and and are in the right place at the right time with a halfway decent amount of ability. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I wish I had a better answer than that.
I think, well, I like that you said that, kind of flying by the seat of your pants because you have to evolve. I mean, there's just been so many changes, and we talk about it all the time. So many changes in the industry, and it doesn't matter what industry, really. I think any industry that you're in, you have to just be able to, be flexible, evolve, and I think almost everything I've done is like flying by the seat of my pants, and it kind of makes you, someone that's out there as kind of like the pioneer, and really trying things out and figuring out what works, and really kind of what I loved about the VR industry when I got into it. It wasn't really totally online yet.
Hmm.
Voice 123 just started, and there really wasn't a community online, and so I had experience where I was before doing online education, and so it was cool. I could kind of forge my way, and I think that's exactly what you did, and still to this day evolving as terrible, horrible, scary things come out in the industry like AI and all that stuff, and changing economies and administrations, and so that's all scary to people
Hmm.
who are not used to I guess the entrepreneur lifestyle. I could say freelancer, but I like to call it entrepreneur.
I
I
like
like to
that
call it
too.
the entrepreneurial
No
style.
worries.
So yeah, I mean, it's just I like that a lot because I think that's the sign of a successful business person.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's
yeah.
funny. I've had a very full circle career, in that I started in the old school world,
Hmm.
brick and mortar.
Hmm.
1994 was when I recorded my first paid voiceover. I was one of the really early adopters of the DIY online world.
Hmm.
Had
Hmm.
an amazing run doing that, and now I've kind of come back to where, yeah, I still keep a platinum membership on 123 and a Bidalgo
Hmm.
account,
Hmm.
but now it's like back through mostly agency stuff, mostly
Yeah.
broadcast stuff,
Yeah.
and I had that period in the middle where it was just like e-learning, and I still do a ton of
Hmm.
corporate, but it
Hmm.
was like
Hmm.
e-learning and medical and all this other stuff. And
Yeah.
I remember when I hired Celia Siegel 6 years ago, and I told her, I said, I want you to help me fire my e-learning and medical clients because I don't want to work that hard anymore,
Well,
right?
yeah, I
And
mean,
it's
it
like,
is. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And it's yeah. You should
yeah,
talk about
I
that.
love it.
It's
Don't
a
get me
lot of
wrong. I
work.
mean, you and I
Yeah.
both. I mean, we
Yep.
got how much have we cashed in
Mhm.
on those genres, but
It's it's been nice to me. Yes.
yeah, it's been
So
lovely,
yeah. Yeah.
but it's a lot of work, and it's really funny
Yep.
because I've watched this industry just kind of like go back and forth. But I think it's kind of evolved into this absolute open pie of options where you can sort
Mm.
of build your career however you like now.
Mhm.
There are not as many guardrails or hoops
Right.
you've got to jump through or gatekeepers or any of that stuff. You can do your own thing, and you can do
Mhm.
it the traditional way. You can do it the new school way. You
Yeah.
can blend
Yeah.
both. Whatever you like. And I just know whenever I go to my grave, the headstone is going to say I did it my way. It's going to be the
Yeah.
Sinatra. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it, because I've always been a big believer in forging your own business paths because I think we're similar in the fact that we have many different things that we do. So I mean I love coaching, I love doing demo production, but I also love podcast, and I love
Hmm. Hmm.
all the different things that I do. And for me, the genres that I work in work really well with all the stuff that I do,
Hmm.
just because I can fit them in. And then I'm always looking for something new. Now, I would say voice actors, what is it that you think that they misunderstand the most when they're first getting into the industry about, the agency world and the DIY? I like you call it the DIY
Sure.
world, pay to play. What is it that they don't tend to understand in the beginning?
I think the biggest thing the talent misunderstand about the agency world is that they're
Hmm.
not scary and they work for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that if you have something they want, they will chase you as opposed to the other way
Hmm.
around. And if you
Hmm.
can put yourself in a position to be in rooms where you can make an impression and make them want what you've got, then
Hmm.
you become a priority for them and you don't have to be the one doing the chasing. I think the flip side also with the online DIY world is I think the biggest thing newer talent don't understand when they get into that world is just how much legwork you've got to do.
Yeah.
To the
Yeah.
point now where we I think we've gotten to a point now where the consensus is we used to talk about maybe a minimum of 20 touches a day
Hmm.
between
Hmm.
auditions and marketing touches, and I think that number is more like 100 now.
Hmm.
And if you're starting a business, if a VO business, and you're going after online casting, if you're going after direct marketing, if you're not getting your voice in front of 100 people on a daily basis, it's a tough
Yeah.
climb.
Yeah.
Because there is competition out there. We don't really. It's a nice industry in that. I mean, you and you've heard me say this for a decade, but you and I should be natural predators, and we're best of friends.
Hmm.
And it's like it's like because we operate, we fish in the same ponds in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
But that's the nature of the
Absolutely.
industry. We don't look at each other really as competition. But at the end of the day, there are a
Right.
lot of talent out there who are fighting over the same jobs. And depending on the genres you're in, medical obviously a little bit less so, but in other genres
Hmm.
it can be
Hmm.
substantial. So you got to put in the legwork, especially if you're going to do a lot of the building your own career and not relying on third parties.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess there's something to be said. Like a lot of talent, when they first get into the industry, they think I need to get an agent right away, which is interesting
Yeah.
because I think that's a big misunderstanding that the agent's going to get them all the work, and so and there's so much talk online now, so much kind of downplay on the pay to plays, and everybody's saying direct marketing, direct marketing. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the pay to plays have evolved. I don't think they
Mhm.
are what they were, when I was, crushing them 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
They're a different animal today. They're definitely harder to to get a foothold on and to
Yeah.
understand the algorithm on. That being said, it's been a long time since I played on voices. Their algorithm has become much more opaque over the years. One, two,
Mhm.
threes is not super understandable, except for the
No.
fact that at the same on the flip side though, if you have one of their higher tier memberships,
Yeah.
you can still do pretty well. I mean, I keep the platinum membership because I still get a lot of direct bookings. I still get a lot of
Yep.
client
Yep.
invitations. Very rarely do I. Rolf jokes when we bring him to retreats that I'm the worst platinum that they have because I rarely ever actually
Yeah.
use the site
That was
anymore.
me
But
too. Yep.
right, but I'll give
Yep.
that thing up over my dead body. Okay, but
Yeah.
when it's a
Yeah.
security blanket. But when I do,
Mhm.
if I do want to use it, with platinum, you can sit there on a Sunday. If there are 30 auditions in your inbox, we can still book 4 or 5, 6
Yeah.
of them, right?
Yeah.
So it can still be shooting fish in a barrel if you have the top tier, the $2,200 tier. If you're staying in that top 10 or 20%, you can still have a similar experience. But it's harder than it used to be, and nobody should. I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
anybody should
No.
present it as being different than that because the online sites, back in the day, I started using them in '06, something like
Yeah.
that when
Me
they
too.
first came
Me
out,
too.
'06,
Voice one,
'07,
two,
right?
three.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
It was great.
back in the day, I mean, there were like
Yep.
20 men and 20 women. You and I were among
Yep.
them, right? And I mean, you
Yep.
could just sit there and eat. You could book 8 or 10 jobs a
Mhm.
day like it was
Absolutely.
nothing because there was not as much competition. And they
Yeah.
also didn't throttle the auditions and use the algorithms the way that they do today. So they're
Yeah.
different beasts. To me, they're a little more complementary today, especially for newer talent than they
Mhm.
used to be. But I still think they can be an effective part of the mix.
Well, I think there has to be. I think there has to be. You have to be just present yourself as many opportunities as you can in reality. So, I think that the people that are just saying no, pay to play is no, or get an agent or direct marketing. I mean, direct marketing's got its own set of difficulties because it's like they don't look at it until they need you, and they
Yeah.
don't always need you
Yeah.
on a daily basis. So everything. I think every marketing has their issues.
Everything's hard in
So
this business. If you expect anything to be
yeah,
easy in voiceover,
yeah,
go do something else. And it's easy for us to say that, having been around for a long time and having done fairly well, but it's no different than when we started in the sense that it's a challenge. Everything is work,
yeah,
everything is hard, everything is building. I've hit so many places in my career where I thought that's it, that's the cap,
yeah,
and then you stagnate for 6 months or 12 months, and then you keep putting in the work, and all of a sudden you
yeah,
burst through that thing that you think that's your ceiling, and then you realize there's another level and another level. And what kills me is it's 2026. It's 32 years since I did my first paid
yeah,
voiceover.
yeah,
I'm still finding new levels.
yeah.
You know,
And
it's
yet I think it's encouraging to the bosses that are just out there, knowing that. I mean, you still have to. You still have to work. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
it gets a little easier, but I mean, you still got to market your stuff. So you got to work.
Do you
If
see? Do you
you
see
were to,
these lines? I mean, this is.
yes,
I didn't look like this when I started.
they might just think that you've got it easy now, but I mean, still, I mean, there's work to be done. There's relationships to be made, and there's auditions to be done, and so it's not like if it were an easy ride, I mean, it would be great. However, what is your advice to those people that get into voiceover and then get frustrated very early on? What would you say to them about their longevity in this career?
I mean, just look at this face. First off, I'm 25 years old. I'm kidding. But it's like,
And I'm 108, so I'm just saying.
this is like when Mounjaro doesn't work. It's like
Oh my God.
Mounjaro. I'm sorry, I should get it right for our medical people out there. It's Mounjaro. Yes.
It's spelled Mounjaro.
Hashtag Mounjaro fails. I'm sorry, I forgot the question already. You got me in squirrel brain mode tonight.
I know, and now I'm laughing too. So I'm like, what was it? Oh, so about longevity and people that come in and I think get frustrated because they're not booking,
Right.
and they're like in the industry for 6 months. And they're like, I'm not booking. I must. It's not be for me, or I can't get work. What do you say to them?
Well, I mean, if that's where you're at after 6 months and that's the attitude you have, then go. It's like but at the end of the day, and I use that cliche phrase way too much, but the bottom line is that first getting to 20,000 a year, 30,000 a year is the hardest thing in voiceover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to low five-figure traction is the hardest thing in voiceover. And I see a lot of people who persist, who keep working, who finally hit that number, 2,000,
Yes.
3,000, 4,000 a
Yes.
month. And getting from there to $100,000 a year is usually a faster process than getting from 0 to 2 or 3 or 4 grand a year.
Because I think
or a
you've
month,
gone through
rather.
everything. I think you've gone through everything that that could send you away.
Yeah,
Which
well, and then
is,
there's a snowball effect,
rejection. Yeah, exactly. So bosses, keep it up. Just keep plugging away at it. I'll tell you, I think the ones that are the most successful are probably the ones who've stuck it out for 5 to 6 years at least.
Stubborn people.
Yeah. So, I'm going to ask you, I don't know. See, I have a love of demos, and I know you. I mean, we both produce demos, and as a matter of fact, at VO Atlanta, which we're going to get to in a minute, we're going to be talking about demos and the importance of them. Let's talk about how important demos are today for voice talent.
I'm actually kind of shocked that they remain as important as they are, and as important as ever in many cases. I think having individual samples on online profiles is important now for the algorithms in a way that it wasn't before, and creating more of those without necessarily having to, spend $20,000 is not a bad idea. But at the demo, having the professional demo, it's still going to get you those direct bookings online in many cases. More importantly, though, it's for the marketing side, it's for the agency
Agreed.
side. It's for the kind of the brick and mortar side of the voiceover industry. Forget getting agencies without great demos. Getting agency rep without great demos, right? They want to hear something that cuts through. They want to hear something that tells them that not only are you as good as the people that they have on their roster, but that you're going to book over the people that they have on their roster. Because if they have 6 people like you or 20 people like you that they're already feeding, that are already competitive, and you're just competitive with those people, what do you add, right? So they want to hear something in your demo that says, I'm not just as good, I can maybe outpace some of your top people and bring something to your agency that you don't have right now. And there are genres, for instance, where a lot of direct marketing is important, like political, which we both play in, where the demo is critical because you're getting hired off the demo rather frequently in political VO. You get hired off the demo in other genres with some frequency, but political, I think, tends to be maybe a little bit more so than anything else. But it's still a very, very important tool, and in in the old school world, it's an absolutely critical tool.
Sure.
And of course, for marketing anything non-broadcast, it's what are
absolutely.
you going to send if you don't have a demo?
Exactly. Exactly. And plus, I'm always telling people the nice thing about that, if you're doing a lot of non-broadcast work, it sits on your website. So 24/7. So
Right.
if you aren't able to get that, audition in the first 5 minutes or when you think it's critical, there's always your demo that somebody can find while you're sleeping, and then,
Right.
inquire about that, because that's what I did for the last, oh gosh, many years, is because I got busier in other areas of my career, coaching and podcasting and that sort of thing. I got to audition less and less, and it
Yep.
started to be, I no longer auditioned for the pay-to-plays, but I auditioned for my agents, and then
Yep.
that was all I had time for, or all I really wanted to do, to be honest with you. I don't, my idea is not auditioning, all day in my booth. It's just not I'd much rather be coaching or crafting demos, which is, it's like a scrapbook to me.
Right.
I was obsessive about scrapbooking, but it's like putting together like just a beautiful composition that can really, hopefully, I produce them to just get work for the talent. And like you said, I believe that it's important in the non-broadcast areas. And of course, absolutely, to get an agent for,
Right.
commercial.
Well, the other thing
it's
that's interesting
essential.
now is that, and I know you're an expert at this as well, which is not just SEO.
Yeah.
And SEO has been, by the way, if search engine optimization has been the most freeing thing in my career, because getting my website to where it shows up page 1, page 2 of
Yep.
Google over and over and over again has
It's very
allowed me
helpful.
to, well, it gives me walk-in business every day, which means I know I've got work coming in
Yes.
every day that I do not have to go and chase. And so that gives me the
Exactly.
permission to, you guys see me flying around at football games and all that stuff and rocking up to studios in Denver on a Sunday night, right? I get to do that because I know I've got work that's going to come in the next day, right? The other thing is, right now, I'm getting 2 or 3 jobs a week. Where did you find me? We found you on ChatGPT.
Yep.
Chat,
Yes, I knew you were gonna say that.
if you can make ChatGPT and
Yes,
some of the other
I'm telling you.
LLMs love you, LLM search, LLM
Uh-huh.
SEO, if you will, is the new SEO, because it takes into
Yep.
account the totality of your footprint on the internet. And if you can make it love you, you're going to be one of those first 3 recommendations for
Oh
whatever
God, yeah.
genre you're in on ChatGPT. And that's just, I mean, that's literally just manna from heaven that just comes in.
It is, and you know what I love? I can always say, well, people are like, oh, she got that gig because, or whatever. I'll say, well, I got there first.
Yeah, right.
Maybe okay. So, well, she shouldn't have gotten that job. Do you think? I think somebody else would have been cast. I'm like, hey, I got there first. So,
Hey, early
I
bird
mean,
gets the worm,
reality,
right?
exactly. There's a lot to be said for that. In reality, I've always
Yeah.
said that about SEO and about marketing. That they can't pay you if they don't find you and they don't know who you are. So if you can get there in front of everybody else and show them who you are, then you've got a good chance
Yeah.
of getting a good chance of being hired. So I love that. So, I love that.
Well,
So,
what I love about Ann, I mean, if you listen to Ann, it's just like what I think you has given us a kinship over the years is that we're both just such incredibly driven people, and I've loved watching every element of you over the past decade and a half. As you've just, I mean, everything you do it's even if it's like we talked about being authentic, being accidental, right? But there's still something behind it where you go, okay, this
oh,
makes
yeah.
sense. This is a smart move. This is a good decision, and
Mhm.
it's just that hustle, hustle, hustle.
Yeah.
Constant driving. We're like good sharks in a good way, always moving, right? Because if you stop moving, you die.
Yeah, absolutely. If I stagnate, I die. That's pretty much it. In any form, do you know what I mean? Performance or business or anything like that. If I stagnate, I die. But I love that you brought up the whole being found on ChatGPT and that SEO. Because I think that's really important with so many people. I mean, I would say that most bosses, if they're just coming in and they're looking at they're in the groups and they're listening to the conversations, there's so many people that they're downplaying right now. Don't do this. Don't make your caricature or whatever it is. AI bad. AI bad. What are your thoughts on
Look, I think
that?
I think they have a point in principle.
I agree.
I don't love that we are shaming people in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
industry. I think that's it's a bad look.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not one I'm terribly interested in having. I loved what Bob Bergen posted about it the other day. I thought that was right on point, where he just said,
Oh, yeah,
our culture has gone way too far
exactly.
towards the look at how morally superior I
Uh-huh,
am to
uh-huh.
you because you have done this, thing, whatever it may be. And it's you may be right. You may be right. I'm not a fan of AI. I'm not a fan of generative AI. I'm not a fan of the pictures and all that stuff. I
Yeah, I
see
agree.
the environmental impact. I get all the arguments. At the same
Yeah,
time, I'm not going to shit on my colleagues in public. I don't like it.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, Bob always has such sage advice
But
on the forums, and I love it.
Bob's a big old hammer who says what he thinks. But I love
Hmm.
it because probably 8 out of 10 times he's right on point.
I
There are 2 out of 10 where I disagree with him completely, but
no,
respectfully,
I
because
agree.
I love that he just speaks. I wish I had as much courage as he does to just speak
He
my
does.
mind. He
He
has more courage
does.
than I do in that sense. I
I
think it's
love it.
I think it's great.
I love it. Yeah, and I'm you need a little time to read his post, but
Yep.
he absolutely hits the nail on the head a lot of times for me, and I'm like, this is great. But it's interesting because I feel like social media, it used to be a big thing, like let's advertise, let's market on social media. But now I feel like social media is kind of changing directions and turning different ways. And so, how important do you think social media is these days for marketing, or how successful do you
Right.
think it is, or how is it going to be in the future?
I think, and I don't know if your experience varies on this, but for me, throughout my career, the only social media where I've ever found really good clients, voiceover clients,
Hmm.
is LinkedIn, because
Agreed.
it's where professionals
Hmm.
lived.
Yeah,
Have I booked a little work off the others from time to time? Sure,
yeah.
but I have found most of the time the clients you find on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, whatever, tend to be your Fiverr level buyers.
Yes.
Whereas on
Hmm.
LinkedIn,
Hmm.
you find real professional grade buyers on that site. So LinkedIn has always been the one for me that's been most
Hmm.
effective. I've got a little
Hmm.
bit of a unique method in how I use it, where I leverage my talent connections, and I encourage my talent to
Hmm.
come and poach all of my connections too.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, that one, yeah. In the future, yeah, I mean, the other sites I think are good for building your presence within the community.
Agreed.
That has
Yeah.
value.
Hmm.
That's not marketing per se, other than it's imaging, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for
That's not going to
actual
be a
work,
voiceover
yeah,
job usually.
for
Yeah.
actual work for me,
Hmm.
give me LinkedIn, SEO, now LLM
Hmm.
search.
Hmm.
That to me, that's where it's
Hmm.
at.
Yeah. Good advice. I love that. So let's talk about your conferences, shall we?
Oh, I have conferences.
Conferences. So, I mean, talk about. But first of all, if you're talking about needing to, get yourself out there, of course, being a voice actor, a voice talent, and a coach is one thing. But hosting and owning. And owning conferences. Now there is another level, J. Michael. I'm not quite there. I used to host my VO Peeps, and it was a small scale networking event. However, now it's not even just one. You're like three. Like I would say main conferences. And let's talk about your Euro retreats first, because they're very unique and very boutique and
Yeah.
small crowds there. Let's talk about what got you started with those.
First off, if Nadia Marshall's watching, that's one snort. But now that's two. Sorry, don't get me into the snort counting started at retreats.
I
That's a whole new thing.
see. I got it.
AJ McKay started that, and once AJ's he can't come out and play as much anymore. So now Nadia Marshall has become the countess of my
Got
snorts
it.
when I left. So
I got
you
it.
guys did not need any of that information. Ann asked me about the retreats. I will actually answer one of her questions directly. So the retreats, they're a labor of love for me and Anna. They
Mhm.
are one of our favorite things. We lost $50,000 on them last year because of the euro going up 20%. So
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
because
Oh,
we
that's yeah.
negotiated when it was 1-to-1. So we don't make money on them, even though they have a high price tag. But they are a ton of fun. They are boutique events. They're meant to really be, the most elite event in the industry. They are designed for people looking to level up. The average talent is somebody who's already a 5-figure earner looking to kind of push it to the next level. We bring in 6 or 8 of the top agents, casting directors, celeb level talent like you, and other fantastic teachers who come in and teach for a whole week. It's usually either a 5-star resort location, like the K Club in Dublin where we got married, which we're doing in October this year, or it's a setting like Barcelona, where we've got the May retreat this year, the beautiful Villa Blanca. We've now actually taken a whole 4-star hotel that's a new build on the beach there as well, and that's just kind of like overflow. But we still limit that one to about 14 attendees, but that's just like extra, just to give us more space, and because it's Spain, it's not that expensive. So it's but they're meant to be very small boutique events, depending on the venue. Barcelona is usually the smallest group. Barcelona, we typically take about 14 attendees. Some of the other ones will take about 22 or 23 now for Dublin or for some of the other venues that are larger properties. We've now generally gone to every block of sessions, and the sessions go from Tuesday through Friday, and every block now we typically do 3 sessions going on at once. Each of them are 2.5 hours. And so if you've got even if you've got one of the bigger groups at like 23 people, you get 3 sessions going. There are going to be 1 or 2 people who don't show up. So now you're down to 21. You're going to wind up having one session that's got 12 people in it, one that's got 5 in it, one that's got 6 in it, or one that's got 3 and one that's got 8, right? And then the content repeats throughout the week. So if you don't get to see X agent on day 1, and you want to see him on day 3, you can go on day 3. And the site, it's funny because some of the more in the really high profile presenters, they get slammed like on the first day of the retreat, and then by the 3rd day, I had Mary Lynn at one who she got like 2 in Dublin on her last session. It was like, and then great, you just got a 2.5 hour with Mary Lynn Wisner for with essentially almost a one-on-one in that setting. They're really cool. We wine and dine you. Everything's included. All food and beverage. It's all super high end. When we do the Barcelona location, we have a private chef who comes in. We do lobster night. We have all the good stuff. And when we do the hotel locations, those are fully catered. We've got a little private lounge at all of them where you can come in and have free pour beverages 24/7. Anything you want, top shelf booze, and for those who don't tipple, good non-alcoholic stuff. Lots of snacks throughout the day. Yep. People who have come to the retreats leave understanding why JMC stands for just more calories.
I didn't hear that one.
You will gain 10 pounds, so just be aware that that's going to happen. But then we accommodate all dietary restrictions, but they're a ton of fun, and we throw in 2 demos for the hell of it, just because we like losing money. So it's
And there you have it.
It's a blast. It's a blast.
I will verify because I have presented at 2 of them, and they are very special. They're really unique opportunities, bosses, to just, there's something to be said about a small, intimate group and not only getting great education because you have a lot of time with the instructors, but you also really get to have a community with each other, and
they really do become little families.
Like lifelong friendships, and very similar to, I will tell you, as we advance on to talking about like VO Atlanta or One Voice, so similar to going to a conference, and almost the most important thing is coming out with like friendships and lifelong, just relationships that just change you.
Well, what's amazing, doesn't you've seen this, is how the WhatsApp groups we create, they're still active. Like, the ones from 2020, 21, when we started back up in Dublin, they're still active. And it's just crazy to see all of a sudden I'll get this WhatsApp message and it's like the, 2022 Switzerland group. I'm like, what? Wait a minute, what? They just keep going.
Every once in a while I'll get a post too. And okay, so now there's the very intimate retreats, which are, it's nice because it's, you get that really a lot of time with the instructors, and you get that intimate time with the group, and you kind of form your family, and then you kind of step it up a level to the One Voice conference, right? Which is not step it up a level, but just in terms of size, right? So One Voice might be, how many attendees are at One Voice?
So One Voice now we're getting about 400 people on the ground, and it's like, I always describe it as kind of like half of VO Atlanta and a little hipper. So we co-produce One Voice with our friends from Gravy for the Brain in the UK, and they run their UK event, and then I do the lineup for One Voice USA, and they do a lot of the work on the ground.
And that's typically in Dallas, right?
That's in Dallas. Yep. This year it'll be August 20th through 23rd in Dallas. And so it's, if you want to kind of dip your feet into a conference that's got a lot of content, that's still got a lot of agents, casting directors, a lot of high level talent teaching. We try and with One Voice, we have a little more of an emphasis on on talent, talent teachers who are like in the mix right now, who are the hot talent right now. We bring a couple of legends in. I think VO Atlanta's a little more legend heavy. And then the agency mix is pretty similar. It'll be different agents from the agencies that tend, all the big agencies tend to come, but different agents at each one.
Also, I think that's a good first conference to go if you tend to freak out in crowds, because VO Atlanta is like double the size, if not a little bit more than that. So if you're kind of shy and you feel like you want to kind of ease your way into voiceover conferences, I would always recommend One Voice. I had a good time.
One Voice, I think the thing is that
Voice.
because it's half the size of VOA in terms of people, but the actual conference space is not that far off of the VOA conference space, right? So it feels way more spread out, and people get a chance to really kind of just go if they want to go and be in your little corner and relax. You don't necessarily have to go back to your room. Tickets are a little cheaper. The the hotel's a little cheaper, and of course it's middle of the country, so it can be more convenient for some people.
Hot sometimes, but
and we have the One Voice Awards.
Yes, exactly. One Voice Awards are awesome. I event them. That's so much fun.
Oh, you won your fair share as a demo producer.
I did. I'm very excited. Well, now let's travel to Atlanta and let's talk about VO Atlanta, because that's coming up. My goodness, in end of March, and so that's coming up really quickly. And if you have not, here's my plug. If you have not gotten your ticket to VO Atlanta, I can give you $100 off if you want to use my code, which is, let me just spout it out. VOA26-Ganguzza, Ganguzza-100, and you will get $100 off your conference ticket. All right, so now we'll talk about VO Atlanta. What makes VO Atlanta special? This is my 14th year.
It's the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, it's the Super Bowl, which is still a bit of a sore subject for me after this past weekend. But but it's the Super Bowl. I mean, if you want the conference where you're going to get the maximum immersion, maximum content, maximum access, it is the Super Bowl. There's nothing in the industry that's in the neighborhood in terms of just size and great food, which the Hilton charges us Michelin star prices for. It's wonderful. It's not necessarily worth $80 per person, but it's one of the nicer Southern meals that you'll ever have. Very high quality food.
Really good chicken. They make
really good chicken, really good fried chicken. The mashed potatoes, it's good stuff. I don't know what Anna. I have to see what Anna did with the menus this year, but no, it's you get fed for 2 days. We do all the coffee and all the good stuff. Anna's put her little magical touches on it to really kind of bring the first class experience as much as you can. We have a little champagne giveveray on the Saturday typically at my booth.
She knows how to do it. Bosses, if you've not been, Anna is just not that. When you gave it to her, she put all of herself into it, and she's such a wonderful hostess and CEO of. She really is. She will go above and beyond, even in the yoga retreats, to get you what you need and to make sure that you're happy, and that alone is just worth the price.
I would have gifted it to you by now if I didn't have Anna. So. I would have been like, would you like a conference? Here you go. Yeah, we spent some money on it, but I'm good. I don't want to live anymore. But with Anna, she does all the hard work. It's, I get to show up and smile and wave and just say hi. And she and her team, and I got to give a shout out to Lynn Norris and Jessica Matheson, because they work like absolute donkeys behind the scenes, and really help it all come together. But
I just see them on the first day and I just hug them and I say, thank you. I know how hard you're working. I just do. They're wonderful, wonderful. Both of them are just wonderful. So they do everything to make things go smooth, and it's just an amazing conference. And you have not only breakout sessions that people can attend, things in the main stage, which everyone can attend, and also fun parties at night. You also have special small group sessions called X sessions. I am teaching 2 of them this year, by the way. So I highly recommend that you come to them, because I love doing these things a lot, and so
you will learn a lot.
Yeah, and they're filling up. So I would hope to see you. And I'm doing the we call it the Conversational Performance Lab, which we talk about different genres and it's trying to sound authentic. I hate to say the word conversational, but it is thrown in everywhere. But
Right.
let's just call it authentic.
Like you're talking to a friend.
Exactly. But depending on where you are when you're talking to that friend, or, if you're corporate and you're talking to another corporate person, maybe you're not as friendly. You don't have quite the intimate knowledge, we hope.
Two HR professionals walk into a bar.
Unless you're at the Coldplay concert. Sorry, I had to say that. But guys, sign up for my X session. They're going quick, and if I haven't met you yet, I would love to meet you. And J. Michael, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's one of my favorite conferences, and guys, it will change you. It will change you for the better. I promise you. And you have wonderful people who help. Like if you don't feel comfortable, I forget what the initiative is called.
Our first contact program, which Tiffany Bresch has founded, and Jared and Tiffany run that. Jared is working like a donkey behind the scenes, and Carmen Wilson leads our ambassadors team. She's fantastic. It's just we have such a great group of folks on the ground. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the hotel staff, they step it up. It's
I'll tell you what, I love the hotel. I don't know, it's got a soft place in my heart because I've been going there for 14 years. And, I mean, when you have 1,000, conference attendees descend upon your hotel and they've really got like one restaurant, right? It becomes an event just to feed them. Yep. And so over the years, they've gotten so much better. And, they really, I think they're more prepared now to handle it. And they're, again, like good people. I don't have a problem at all. I mean, there's the bar right in the middle of it all. And so it's a great place to just have community.
And the food's good.
So, yeah, it is.
Legit good. I mean, from a man who knows his food. So.
Yeah, and tell Anna the baked chicken. I mean, I'm trying to get off fried foods, but their baked chicken is really good.
The baked chicken is very good.
Their baked chicken is
really good.
They've
got that half chicken at the restaurant. That's
it is. It's awesome.
It's really good.
It's awesome. All right, so my gosh, we could probably talk all day. And so,
Us? No.
Bosses, don't forget if you've not signed up, make sure you do so. And of course, I will.
What's that code again?
I'll post that code on my show notes, and the code again is VOA26 GANGUZZA-100, and you will get $100 off your conference ticket. It is a deal, man. I'm just saying.
You spell it right, or we're gonna send the goose after you.
That's right, the goose. Oh my gosh! Well, it's been so much fun, J. Michael, and we could just chit chat for like another hour or so. But I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, and it's just been a pleasure. I can't wait to see you in person in March, and Anna as well.
Pleasure has been all mine. We are looking forward to hosting you again and to hosting the masses.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give a great big shout out to our sponsor, IPDTL. You too can network like bosses like J. Michael and myself, and find out more at IPDTL.com. Bosses, have an amazing week. I want to see you guys in Atlanta, so don't forget that code. J. Michael, you're the best. Bosses, we love you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.